a private school called Sirei Academy, the school in Japan's ranking with the best standard score. The kids of both lords and aristocrats went to that school. One girl, though, was made differently than the others, Alisa Mihailovna. Her father is Russian, and her mother is Japanese. She's hot as hell. As of the start of the new school year, she has always been number one. She plays sports and will be the student council's treasurer on top of all that. She's rich, pretty, and good at sports. Please sign me up. She's known as the lonely princess by everyone. As she walks into school, Endu, the coolest guy, tells her he likes her, but she turns him down right away. She then tries the famous begging riz, which normally works, but she turns him down again. After that, she tells Endu that his outfit is against school rules. After that, she says in Russian that he is disgusting. I thought the worst she could say was no, but she just killed him. We all have great hopes for her and are curious about who she will be interested in. As she goes into class, she sees a student sleeping. Good morning, she says, but bro is sound asleep. She wakes up when she kicks him. He is the most lazy student in the school and goes by the name Kuze Masachika. Kuze got up late last night to talk with his otaku friends, which is why he's sleeping in class. Kuze doesn't mind that Alia calls him stupid. He's a proud geek. Alia looks at him with a very intense gaze. Some of Alisa's classmates don't understand why she always picks on Kuze since she usually dislikes guys who are lazy like him. As class is about to begin, the teacher walks in. She then turns around and says something cute in Russian. Kuze looks at her and asks what she said. She tells him she's just calling him selfish. Kuze says sorry, and Alia laughs to herself as she turns around and looks back at him. She tells him that it would be cool if he worked hard at Russian, but she's not going to tell him that. Kuze turns red and says he already knows all of that. Because his grandpa likes Russian films, he had to watch them with him to learn Russian. Only his sister knows about it. Not that Alia knows, but Kuze is the only one who can understand her when she speaks Russian. The next time Kuze starts to nod off, Alia pokes him to wake him up. Kuze got mad at her and yelled at her. The teacher saw him making a scene and told Kuze to answer the question on the board. Kuze starts to sweat, but Alia has written down the answer and shows it to him. Kuze gave an answer. He says it was his fault he fell asleep, which makes Alia laugh. She blushes and calls him cute again. Kuze hears this and says that even though she's a great girl, she often says odd things in Russian. She feels like no one gets her. She didn't like it, but her crush Kuze was the right counter. But Kuze changes into Neo from the Matrix and hides all the signs that she likes him. She also says strange things in different languages on purpose, because she likes the thrill of other people getting it. She always says nice things about Kuze, but he wasn't going to say anything because he thought she would go into her dark mode and make fun of him for taking what she said seriously. When class is over, Kuze thanks her for lending him her textbook. She looks at him with displeasure and tells him she won't give it to him again. Kuze gets scared and realizes that he needs to use the limited edition code in the description to open his AFK Arena packs. Kuze got into the game just in time to open the pack. He is happy that he got the famous 5-star SSR Tsukuyomi, which has a combat rating of 50 million. But Alia quickly cut him off from his AFK Arena journey by telling him that cell phones aren't allowed in school unless they're needed. She's kind of acting like an English teacher right now. Kuze quickly got down on his knees and begged her to forgive him. He tells her that the card he just got has a 0.02% chance of dropping in this week's event. Alia asked Kuze why Tsukuyomi's hair is silver, and Kuze told her not to worry about it because kids with silver hair are cuter. In Russian, Alia says that she also has gray hair. She then tells him that she will turn off his phone because, as a student council member, she won't let this go. Kuze freaks out and tells her not to do that because the game might not have saved, but she doesn't care about AFK Arena and turns off his phone anyway. Later that night, Alia gets dressed up as Kuze's character and strikes the same pose as her, trying to look cute. Alia is shocked when someone walks in through the door out of the blue. The next day, Kuze's friend Takeshi starts crying in the diner about how unpopular he is. But Kuze and Hikaru, another friend of his, don't care about him at all. It makes Takeshi very angry that Kuze gets to sit next to Alia. He calls Kuze a lady killer. But to be honest, Alia still wouldn't talk to this guy if Takeshi sat next to her. Hikaru also doesn't understand why Alia talks to Kuze so easily when she doesn't talk to anyone else. Also, Kuze is the only person who can call her Alia. Takeshi tells them that if they say that to her face, she won't let them live another day. Takeshi and Hikaru realize that Kuze isn't such a big loss after all. He's smart and strong. Takeshi then remembered that Kuze was on the student council in middle school. But before Kuze could answer, everyone was buzzing with excitement to see the 3 student council members together. They are Alisa Mikhailovna, who is the treasurer, Maria Mikhailovna, who is the secretary, and Suo Yuki, who is in charge of public relations. When Takeshi saw these gems, which he has no chance of getting, they made his eyes shine. If they want to stop talking about girls, Hikaru says they should keep asking Kuzi if he wants a girlfriend. Kuzi says that getting a girlfriend seems like something that doesn't belong in real life. It's likely that he'll take the girl to draw on their first date, which made his friends laugh. Kuzi gets mad at them for not treating Animate's name with care. All of a sudden, Yuki and Alia ask Kuzi if they can sit here with them. Takeshi got up right away and offered them his place. Do not worry, they are not interested in you. As the girls sat down, Yuki told Kuzi that she got the same thing as her. Yuki said it tastes good, but it needs more heat. As a student council member, she asks Kuzi if she should use her power to make this different. Kuzi told her not to abuse her power in that way. Yuki laughs and says, "I was joking." Alia asks Yuki if she and Kuzi are friends. Yuki says yes and grabs Kuzi's arm to tell her that they are childhood friends. This completely shocks Alia. It looks like Gojo. Someone Kuzi's friend told them quickly that they were scared of girls and that they were making them nervous. All of them like me, it's too late for Kuzi to stop them. Many people are upset with Kuzi because he is seeing two of the most beautiful girls in school at the same time. Kuzi tries to leave, but Yuki stops him. Alia feels bad when she sees how close these two are. Yuki says it's because they've been going to the same school since kindergarten. But in the anime world, childhood friend always comes in last, no matter how much time she spends with him. Kuzi asks how things are going between them. Yuki says that they are in the process of making friends, but she does want to be friends with Alia. Alia says she's not sure she would like it if they became friends. She says that about herself, but Kuzi tells her not to. Everyone thinks Alia is the perfect girl and admires her, but she doesn't have any close friends, telling Yuki that she should be the one to decide if being her friend is fun or not. When Yuki and Alia heard this, they quickly became friends and began to call each other by their first names. She told Alia that she has always wanted to be friends with her because Kuzi always talks about her. Kuzi is the most shocked because he doesn't remember telling Yuki anything about Alia. This shocks Alia the most. Yuki said Kuzi would tell Alia how much he admires and respects her hard work. Kuzi agreed with her. Alia speaks Russian in a shaky voice and feels shy when Kuzi looks up to her. She told Kuzeto not to look at her and called him stupid. She quickly came back from her dreams when Kuzi asked her what she said. She told him how unhappy she is that he looks up to her. Kuzi says he doesn't want to join the student council when Yuki asks him if he has thought about it. Alia is shocked and asks him if he has ever been on the student council. Yuki says that Kuzi was the vice president of the student council 2 years ago, and she was the president. Kuzi is now living a quieter life. You're not Ayano Koji, so calm down. Alia couldn't believe Kuzi was the vice president. Yuki told her that Kuzi might be the most lazy student right now, but he gets things done when he has to. She kept poking Kuzi in the cheek and said she'd understand why it's crazy, because he always looks so lazy. Alia feels bad when she sees how close the twos are and asks Kuzi why he joined the student council in the first place. Kuzi says that he chose himself as a punishment for losing a bet, and he ended up getting the part. Yuki cuts him off and says that she asked him to do it because she needed his help. Yuki told Kuzi that she needs his help again, which is why she's here. She gets very close to Kuzi and touches his face while telling him that she thinks he is the only person who could do the job. Kuzi tells Yuki to stop, and Alia is shocked again. This guy doesn't seem to care at all, so he might be the most Ultra Sigma Chad man. I would fold so hard that I would hurt my back if that were me. During this, Alia is cutting her strawberry without realizing it because she is jealous. Yuki tells Kuzi that she is subscribed to the childhood friend premium ticket, and that this should be fine because they used to shower together. Kuzi asks her to let go of him again. Kuzi never told Alia anything about this, which makes her sad. While she keeps eating her strawberry, she feels sad. After lunch, Yuki keeps trying to get Kuzi to join the student council, but he still says no. She then left, leaving Alia and Kuzi alone. Alia says that you two really get along. Alia told Kuzi that she never thought he would have a girlfriend, which makes Kuzi confused. Alia, you shouldn't think too little of Kuz because that bro got that unsaid Riz. It gets confusing for Kuzi because Alia is also his girlfriend. She is shocked and asks if they're friends. Kuzi feels bad because he thinks their friendship was only between them. It makes Alia blush, and she admits that they are friends. It makes Kuzi wonder what kind of feeling that was. He got too close to Alia, and she told him to back off. She then turns around and tells him not to follow her and not to use his fingers to point at people because it's rude. Kuzi smiles and says he doesn't understand her at all, which makes her wonder what's wrong with her. Kuzi and Alia are in the classroom by themselves. They're in a pretty bad spot, and if this keeps up, the YouTube cops will shut me down. Let's go back 20 minutes and find out what the hell got them into such a major mess. Kuzi is in charge of a class, so he gets to school early to get things done. His partner, Alia, was supposed to show up earlier, but she wasn't there. so he thought she would be surprised to see him there so early. When Kuzi turns around, he is shocked to see Alia walk in with one leg out, like she just played with a pit bull named Cupcake. He asks her if she's okay. The woman tells him that she is fine and that the truck just splashed water on her. She sat by the window and told Kuzi to bring her socks and towels. When Kuz turns around to look back, he starts to blush because he sees Alia taking off her socks while she's dripping wet. Kuz is as steady as a rock when he sees her take off all of her socks. "I want to lick the water off of her legs so badly, man." That wasn't in the script, was it? As soon as she gets her towel, she starts to clean her leg. Kuze is shocked by how beautiful her legs are. He then thought that he might be a pervert because he was just now realizing this. When Alia asks for Kuzi's socks, she thinks it would be funny to have him put them on for her because she sees how hard he is blushing. She says it was too hard for her to walk on one leg the whole way here, and she doesn't have the energy to put her socks on. She told him it was her way of saying thanks, since it was also a gift for him. Alia makes fun of Kuzi for being upset over something so small as he hesitates. Finally, Kuze gave up, and he gave her her socks. She said something in Russian while he was giving them to her, saying that it would also be a treat for her. Kuze heard this, and that's when Nick A30's beginning played. He got back up, let loose his beasts in a way that was safe for the family, and told her he'd put them on for her. Kuze grabbed her thighs, and Alia was blushing really hard. She should put her feet on his knees because he was about to touch her. Kuze touched her feet and said, "I hope we're still talking about putting on socks." She made a holy sound. Kuze told her to slow down, and she told him it hurt. He put the socks in halfway, and Alia made a face that makes it look like something else was in halfway, and I'm not talking about the socks. When Alia realizes she's making too much noise while putting on her socks, she quickly covers her mouth. Kuze then turns the table and starts making fun of her, telling her that she asked for it. He turned red and told her to learn from her mistake. With her face bright red, Alia laughs and makes fun of Kuze for blushing, but Kuze's pride didn't back down or give up, and he kept putting the socks on her while Alia tried very hard not to make a sound. He lifts her leg up and slides her socks in deeper and deeper. At this point, Kuze might not be looking at her legs at all, but at something else. Kuze and Alia are hiding behind a curtain in a way that makes no one suspect. Kuze's hand is touching Alia in a place that isn't very family-friendly. It makes her blush, and she tells him not to use the chance to hug her, but Kuze says it's just a brave thing to do, because she would fall out the window head first if he let go. But right now, Kuze is also feeling pretty brave somewhere else. Takeshi said it's getting cold in the classroom, and he knows that all the windows are open. When Alia and Kuze heard this, they were scared. Takeshi suggested that he close the front windows, and Hikaru did the same for the back ones. Kuze's legs have still not been seen. I guess he just learned how to stand so still that he is unnoticeable to the naked eye. Drax would be proud. Kuze looks hopeless as he realizes they're going to be caught. As Hikaru gets closer, Alia and Kuze start to freak out, which makes Hikaru freak out too. He doesn't know who they are, but he figures out what's going on and walks out of the room. After they both left, Alia and Kuze let out sighs of relief. After some thought, Alia realized that Kuze was still holding on to her legs. She turns red and quickly moves away from him. He says sorry when he falls, but when he looks up, he sees Alia's mouth, not the one that food goes into. Kuze looks like he's learned a lot as he stares deeply into his nose. It starts to bleed. He is looking at something that Alia knows about. She yells at him in Russian as she hits and steps on him. I think that's more like a gift, because she called him stupid and quickly left the room, leaving Kuze on the floor. Alia gets so red that she starts to cry, and she doesn't know why her heart is beating so fast. Kuze was feeling lost as he lay on the floor, and kept telling himself that it was